What is up, my friends? So, before we get into this theory, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers, closing on the 19. Let's get it done. But, Loki episode 4. So, let's recap a little bit. Loki's in love. The TVA has learned, well, the employees have learned. Some of them, actually. Not all of them, but I think most of them will pretty soon. I think we're about to see like some revolution of sorts happen, which I'm very excited to see. But they're learning that they were actually variants that were kidnapped by the TVA in order to do their bidding, and all of their memories wiped. Mobius actually isn't like keen to believe this, but the other variant B15 actually does believe it and goes to Sylvie in order to get her memories unlocked, and thus helping her escape actually later down, which we'll get to in a bit. But Mobius is a little hesitant at first. He's a little bit like, I don't know, I think Loki's trying to trick me. And after Loki goes through a sort of hell with Sif, Lady Sif, yeah, she makes an appearance here, Mobius is actually like, you know what, I believe you. After he actually goes through and investigates what's been going on from Ravonna. We're at the end where Loki and Sylvie meet the timekeepers. And by the way, Mobius gets pruned, whatever that means. But we actually find out what that means at the end. And I'll talk about that as well pretty quickly. I'm just trying to recap, and then I want to get to my theory. So we see a fight break out. B15 helps them actually. And then the timekeepers ultimately are attacked by Sylvie. And we find out that they're just androids. Ravonna actually comes behind Loki and prunes him, and Sylvie is left alone. So, in the end credits scene, we do see that Loki didn't actually die. So, Mobius, you're probably out there, and we're going to find you because we need you. And so, what we see is there is a bunch of Lokis there who meet up with the other Loki and try to help him, and that is our end credits scene. Done. So, biggest question from this show is who is actually controlling the time, like TVA, whatever, because for the longest we thought it was these three beings who were the TVA and like the masterminds behind everything, timekeepers. Turns out it's not. Well, if we're talking about time, and let me take you on a little trip, not really a trip by the way, but if we're talking about time, there is a major villain that just got announced not too long ago actually, who will be played by Jonathan Majors. That is Kang the Conqueror, who deals a lot with time. And I'm going to make a separate video on Kang the Conqueror to talk about him, because I want to do my character 101s again, especially as we're getting new movies with new characters and all of that. It was a series I did back in the day, and it's probably shit videos now if you go watch it. But I would talk about new characters that get introduced, whether it's in the MCU or DC universe, but I kind of like didn't go through it at all, and I should have. But anyways, we're bringing it back with Kang the Conqueror next week. Watch out for that video. But this is a character who is a time traveler, and pretty much this is the reason he becomes all powerful, is because he would go to like ancient civilizations and use his new technology and everything to wipe them out and conquer. So I think that this is a character that would definitely make sense to introduce here. I believe he won't be introduced fully until the movie, the Ant-Man movie. I believe that's what it is, because Kang the Conqueror is a pretty well-known Young Avengers villain, which I'll talk about in his video as well. But I think with such a big character to introduce out of the blue wouldn't just make sense, especially when I think this is a character that is going to occupy more than one movie. I don't think he is a one and done it villain. He is a pretty big like villain in my opinion to just be like that. But then again, Marvel doesn't really care about things like that, as we saw with Ultron. Hopefully Ultron returns one day, because I think that there is so much they could do with Ultron. But nonetheless, I think Jonathan Majors is a great pick to play Kang the Conqueror. After seeing him in Lovecraft last year, it was a pretty good show, and I thought that he did an amazing job. So I would love to see him in more roles, definitely. So I do believe that the TVA, all of that is just a front by King, and he's just trying to take out anybody who might be in his way of achieving what he needs to achieve. And so I would definitely love to see Jonathan Majors make an appearance here, because hey, Lovecraft reunion, right? So I think that that would definitely be something to see. I am very much so leaning on that theory. I know some people are saying that it could just probably be another Loki who is doing this, and trying to get rid of all the other Lokis. But I think that Kang the Conqueror is just trying to get rid of anyone he feels can threaten him in some shape, way, or form. I think that the other Lokis are just here not because of King the Conqueror trying to take him out, but maybe because the TVA was trying to sort of figure out how to get Sylvie, and maybe they were just getting all the Loki variants. I think that's what could be happening here. But nonetheless, we will see what happens. And I think it just makes sense that they would allow, like King the Conqueror would allow the Avengers to take out Thanos. That way, Thanos isn't in the way of King the Conqueror trying to conquer. So take out one bad, but then I can come in because maybe I couldn't take on Thanos by myself. That's my opinion and my theory on it. Who do you think is behind the TVA? Do you think it's King the Conqueror, or do you think it could be Loki or somebody else that hasn't been mentioned at all? Some other villain? I just don't see any other villain they could probably do. I don't think that we definitely see like King the Conqueror make a full-on appearance, but I believe it'll be something along the lines of how we saw Thanos at the end of the first Avengers. I think that would be a great introduction to King. I don't see him appearing in this show like that. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen with that. I think King the Conqueror makes sense to be the one behind the TVA, and not just because I already want to see Jonathan Majors, which I do, but I think that that would prove as a formidable opponent. Like, look at everything this guy can do, right? But yeah, if it's not King the Conqueror, let me know in the comments below who you think could actually be the real person or entity or persons behind the TVA, because it looks like somebody's just trying to use this TVA cover-up for their own means. So I think it's setting up a new big bad for them to take on. So I definitely do think it is going to be somebody or some people that we will see become this new big bad. So let me know your theories down below, but I'm sticking with Kang the Conqueror. It makes sense. It's the next villain coming up that seems pretty big for everybody to handle, so yeah. But as always, let me know your thoughts below. Who do you think is running a TVA? I would love to know your thoughts, and we can discuss it in a video. This is Campfire, where we discuss all the things you love about pop culture and just have a good old conversation. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on the bell for notifications so you know when a video drops, because YouTube likes to be a little funny about things like that. I've seen in people that I'm subscribed to, I rarely get updates when they upload. So we are on the road to 20,000 subscribers, so close to closing in on 19,000. Can we do it? I think we can. So make sure that you share this video, comment, all that good stuff to get the engagement up, and we will definitely get to that. As always, I'll see all of you next time. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, all provided down below. As always, stay safe, stay positive. Hey, if you're still listening, check out the video on the left. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the bell is turned on. Always stay positive.